Welcome, everyone. We're so excited to have you here joining us today with some of our pro event planners. My name is Jacqueline Ho, and I'm the Director of Account Management here at Innovate Marketing Group. And today, it's the perfect time to be talking about holiday. So we'll be talking about some event trends for 2022, and you're just in time to start the planning process and kick off this holiday season. So I'd like to introduce our two speakers today. We have Carrie Sato and Kylie Reynolds. They are both corporate event managers here at Innovate Marketing Group, and they both have over a combined 15 years of experience within the industry. So let's go ahead and get started. Planning corporate holiday parties can be tricky. There's a lot to consider. So Kylie, why don't you start us off with what are the benefits of hosting company parties, and why should companies even think about doing this?
Of course, absolutely. So with every event, you want to be able to plan with a purpose. So for our 5 favorite benefits of company holiday parties, I think one of the biggest is you get to showcase your company culture. You get to bring in all the fun, exciting, and unique ways that your company culture benefits its employees. So with that, it's also just celebrating the diversity with your team members, making sure that you're planning an all-inclusive party that values your employees, also celebrates their differences. I think one of the most fun ways is being able to really showcase your employees and the hard teamwork that they've done. Also just celebrating the different organizational milestones, and then being able to really highlight the individuals who have really excelled in their roles, and then being able to share the company's goals and having everyone involved and engaged in what's to come in the coming years. So with that, it's also moments for everyone to kind of let their hair down and be able to meet different people from the different departments. So really bringing everyone together and a bonding moment, even with the CEO, which you may not get during the daily routines.
Yeah, and I love that. You can really tailor it to your company and to your employees. And at the end of the year, everyone just wants to kind of celebrate and reflect on the milestones throughout the year. So this is a great way to do that. Thanks for all those benefits. I think some of the best holiday parties are the ones that people continually talk about, even after the event is over, the ones that are super memorable. We've had some even in Southern California, where we're located, and their offices across country maybe are still talking about ones that happened here or vice versa. So, Carrie, why don't I pass this to you? Can you talk to us a little bit about the effort and the thought and process behind this planning process to make sure moments like that, where people are continually talking about the event after it happens, can you bring us through that process a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know it may seem a little bit early to be planning your holiday party. It is just the beginning of September, but it's really important that you get on your employees' calendar. First of all, one of the first things you'll want to do is decide whether you're going to have a live, virtual, or a hybrid event. Obviously, if your staff is all located in one local area, it'd be really great to have a live event. If your team's a little bit more widespread and you want to be able to engage all your employees nationally at once, then a virtual event would be great. And you also have the option to do a bit of both. Maybe you want to engage your local staff with a live event, but then also kind of bring in that national staff and have a hybrid event. But as I mentioned, the most important thing is to set a date for your party. There's a couple of reasons why it's really important to choose a date early. Obviously, people are going to travel a lot during the holidays, maybe trying to return home to spend time with their families and, visit their hometowns. So you really want to make sure that you can get on their calendar early so that you can optimize your staff attendance. Secondly, holiday parties are becoming a huge thing to engage in company culture. So a lot of the really great venues will get booked in advance. So this really is important in your planning process so that you can book the best venue for the right size and your right budget for your party. So speaking of venues, and you just want to make sure that you're accounting for everybody on your staff, make sure that it fits your entire staff and it especially fits in your budget, which is kind of the next step to determine your budget. You really want to make sure that you're factoring in everything from food and beverage, AV, any venue costs, decor, activities. Just think about how much you want to spend per person and what exactly the environment is that you're going to create for your employees. Next, you want to send your save the date cards. Make sure that you're letting your employees know that the party is happening, that they're going to get to have a really great experience, that you're going to hear this celebrate them and to just celebrate the work that they've put in throughout the year. Next, you want to decide on a theme and kind of think about the attendee journey. What's going to be the first thing your guests will see? Maybe you want to have this grand entrance that really wows them when they step in through the doors. What are they going to be doing throughout the night? Are you going to have dinner and dancing? Is it going to be a little bit more casual where you're going to do tray pass hors d'oeuvres and everybody just kind of gets to network? Are you going to have any programming, any special performances? You really want to just think about the event through your attendees' eyes and what they're going to be experiencing. And lastly, in the first 3 to 4 months of planning, you'll want to reserve your vendors and suppliers. Like I said, holidays are just a busy time for everybody. So if you have any special vendors, maybe there's a certain DJ that you love, you want to make sure you're reaching out to them early and that you're getting them on your calendar so that you don't miss out on any of those great vendors. And then about 1 to 2 months before the event, this is where you really want to drill into the details. You're going to want to plan your menu and ensure that you have enough food and drinks for everybody. We know that food and drinks are probably the most memorable part of any party. So we want to make sure that you're able to lock in those vendors and come up with a menu that is considerate of anyone with dietary restrictions. Gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, dairy-free are all things that you want to consider. Next, you want to establish a program. Holiday parties tend to be a little bit more on the fun side, so we want to make sure that people are able to have fun and engage with each other, but we want to also have just at least a small program, nothing too long, so you can thank your employees for all their hard work, acknowledge anybody who maybe achieved big milestones like a work anniversary or something like that. And so you'll just have a small program to make sure that your employees are feeling acknowledged. Next, you'll want to plan decorations. And of course, this whole thing is about holiday trends. So we'll go into some of the decor trends and whatnot that we're going to be seeing this year. Next, you're going to want to prepare prizes and giveaways. Who doesn't love free stuff, right? So we want to make sure that you have something special for your guests to take home. And as Jacqueline mentioned, it'll help them it'll be a reminder of that night. And people, every time they see it, will think what a great party it was. And then lastly, you want to think about your entertainment. Do you want to have a DJ? Do you want to have a live band? We've done events with both. And, we want to make sure that you're really locking in those vendors. Maybe you have a staff member who has a hidden talent. I did an event where the COO of the company did a tap dance and another one of their employees did like a comedy musical thing. And it's just a really cool way for you to be able to highlight the talent of your employees outside of what they do on the regular day-to-day basis.
I love that. That's so fun. I feel like company parties and get-togethers like this is the perfect time for people to get out of that stiff meeting mode and showcase a little bit more and connect in that way. Thank you for taking us through that. I think the planning process can get daunting. There's a lot of detail that goes through it, but we're here to help and make that process easy and seamless for you and memorable. So with that, I want to jump right into 6 trends that we have for this holiday. Starting with the first one, we're calling this one our sustainability season. So Kylie, why don't you let us know what this one is all about?
I could jump in here really quickly while Kylie works on that. But sustainability has been huge just in general across all events. We really want to make sure that we're starting to take care of the environment. I don't know how many of you all are in Southern California, but we're experiencing an extreme heat wave. So we're really just trying to help take care of our environment, make sure that we're being sustainable through our events. So a few different ways that we suggest you do this is instead of buying, any trees that you may be using for your event, try renting them. Getting those multi-use recyclable aspects to an event would really be helpful to keeping our environment and keeping your event green. Another idea is recycling wrapping paper. You can use that as decor. I can see it be like crinkling it up and creating like a photo backdrop wall that just maybe looks like a giant present, or adding ribbon and stuff like that would be a really cute way to incorporate decor aspect while also reusing wrapping paper instead of just throwing it in the trash. Next, another option is cloth gift wrapping. I come from a nonprofit background and I have seen, toy drives at different events. And I think instead of using wrapping paper, cloth gift wrapping is a really sustainable option. There's so many YouTube videos, so many Instagram videos, TikTok videos that can show you how to use cloth wrapping and make these presents look a little bit different, give it a little bit of a different vibe than just using your regular wrapping paper. And then, of course, other sustainable options is keeping all of your utensils, your plates, using green materials, trying to stay away from single-use plastics. So we do really encourage the trend of sustainability in our events.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like this is definitely the aesthetic that really changes up a gift now, using cloth instead of your typical Christmas wrapping. But now that we have Kylie back, wanted to throw it back to you. Did you have anything else you wanted to add for this one?
Absolutely. So one of my favorite events we were able to plan was actually last holiday season. We found a great venue that aligned with our goal of being a little bit more sustainable for the holidays. So it was supporting shopping small, but we were able to find a venue that used repurposed shipping containers. And so we also encouraged all of the vendors to come in and bring in their LED lights. And then we were able to use their communal tables, their Christmas trees or their holiday trees, and being able to have the stage kind of preset. All of those items were there and were very aligned with what we were looking for. We even were able to set up a gift wrapping station, so everybody was able to kind of have their gifts wrapped in the recyclable papers after purchasing their gifts. So it just really brought in a great community feel. And I think that it really hit home with bringing in the different sustainable features. So just finding the right venue, I think, too, is really important.
That's awesome. Well, then we'll go with our trend number 2 now after sustainability. The other thing that we always want to do is make sure that the event has a wow factor and is memorable in that sense. So Carrie, why don't you take us through this one?
Yes, so bigger is better. Like I said, we really want to create those wow moments, maybe a grand entrance for your event. You can really go big with cool immersive activations like igloos, projection lighting, unique fabrications. Maybe you can even get an ice skating rink. We're still trying to find somebody to do that for. So if you are interested, let us know. But for one example that we have is we did a holiday party at the Viviana, which for those of you who don't know, it's a decommissioned church. And the venue is mostly white. So something cool that we did was we brought in these giant 6-foot blue icicle centerpieces that really contributed to the winter wonderland, baby it's cold outside feel and theme of the event. And I think just having those oversized centerpieces really elevated the look of the event by kind of playing around with the proportion, making it look a lot bigger, bringing in some color into the venue because it is mostly white, and it just really looked awesome and cool. I think we have some pictures later on of that. Another thing that we did for that event is we brought in these we call them bubble ballerinas. So basically they were ballet dancers who go into an inflated bubble. They put in some feathers at the bottom so it kind of looked like snow. And it gave this illusion of a snow globe with having a live dancer inside. And it just looked really cool. And they were rolling through the event, kind of interacting with the guests. And it was just a really cool interactive experience. Some other events that we've done are the Lightscape exhibition at the Arboretum. So we worked with a sponsor to create these giant custom lanterns of a polar bear and a car. And it just, as soon as you walked in, it was just kind of one of the first things you saw. And so our sponsor was really happy with that. Another interactive giant display we did for one of our clients is we got these big white globes and we were able to project old-timey holiday movies onto them, which really played into their theme of Tinseltown. It was out here in Hollywood. So also we were able to bring in these giant palm trees and we put LED lights around it to make it a little bit more LA Hollywood than your traditional pine trees. We also brought in a red carpet. I talked about grand entrances. We brought in a red carpet and hired paparazzi to take their pictures as they were coming in. So it really made them feel like a movie star. I don't want to go too deep into the theme because we're going to talk more about themes later, but these are just a few of the ideas of how you can play up really big ideas and create those experiences for your guests.
Yes, that's so fun. I think this trend is ever growing now that everyone's doing more projection, and holiday is the perfect time to utilize lighting and projection because it does get darker sooner, and you have so many of these opportunities and moments that you can utilize it for. So we're really willing to try some of these ideas out and make some of your holiday parties great. But moving on then with trend number 3, this one is about color. So Kylie, I'll kick it back to you for this one.
Yes, so as I said, periwinkle is having its moment as the color of 2022. So we do foresee a lot of just like lavender, this soft sort of sky blue being featured. We have done some really great like stage designs that have had like the soft colors and then pops of gold, which has been really nice. But we can also just feature it into the table displays, floral arrangements, just kind of liven up the room a bit. One of my favorite venues that does a really great job is the Huntington, the Langham. They always have really fun holiday decor up every year. So I love walking around their grounds and getting a lot of inspiration.
And Carrie's already in this color scheme. I see that pop of blue that matches so perfectly. Thanks for that, Kylie. The trend number 4 then we have for you here, we're calling this one Blast from the Past. And Carrie, why don't you tell us about this one?
Yes, so throwback has been huge on social media. We've been seeing a lot on TikTok, people wearing their they call it throwback 90s, which I personally am a little bit offended by because I don't think the 90s were that long ago. But you've been seeing it all over social media, people having these kind of decade parties. We've always seen people having, 80s parties, 70s parties, getting to dress up. So I think this kind of blast from the past idea is going to be a big trend. You can see the LED, the neon lights, Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal, definitely a holiday movie from the 90s. So we're really seeing a lot of the comeback of neon, childhood games, Polaroids, and you can incorporate this into your kind of blast from the past theme by just making these great activations for your guests to use. Decor wise, statement pieces like the neon, like beautiful balloon arches always leave an impact. And I feel like before, balloon arches kind of had this cliche spiral shape where it was just kind of like the finish line of a marathon. But now balloon arches have definitely leveled up. You can see in this picture, there are so many different shapes, colors, sizes. I really like that gold spiky looking balloon. I think it adds a really great dimension. So getting those kind of big custom pieces to really drive an impact and of course, provide a social media Instagrammable moment that everybody loves to do. So I think blast from the past is definitely going to be a theme and a trend that we see this year.
Super fun. I love taking something from the past and kind of recreating it and making it new. So I like this one a lot. Next one, we only have 2 more trends for you guys, but this next one is called DIY. And Kylie, why don't you dive into this one?
Yeah, so for DIY, this is kind of a moment where you can bring all of your employees and even their families together. And it's really great to, everyone loves doing the holiday cookies, but you could also do like make your own wreaths or even ornaments, something that they'll be able to sort of keep and take home. And kind of use for years to come. So we have a lot of really fun ideas, and then being able to like build out these stations where people can get involved and be able to kind of make their own unique vintage pom-poms to hang around their house and around the holidays. So a lot of really great moments. I think this is also ties back to our sustainability of just kind of reusing and recycling some of those products.
And this one's fun. I like this one a lot. Guests always get to come to an event and then get their hands dirty a little bit, experience some activations and take home or eat or experience some type of activity or something that they can hang and bring back to their homes. So this one's kind of fun too. So we are at our last one then. This one is called Bring the Outdoors In. And Carrie, why don't you take us through this last one?
Yes, here at IMG, we're all really big plant people. So we love, regardless of whether it's the holiday season, to bring the outdoors in. But during holiday season, it's a little bit more special because nobody's going to have these wreaths or feathery greenery just kind of around their house year round. So it's a little bit different. I think one of the big things is thinking about event not just by what you see, but also by what you're smelling, with what you're tasting. So I think a really cool idea is to bring in some natural scents to really immerse your attendees. Things like cinnamon, like pine, like freshly baked cookies. I think doing more than just seeing the greenery, and obviously it's like classic to have the pine trees. But I think being able to use for what our other clients' event, using palm trees, again, playing up that Tinseltown, having their holiday party in Hollywood, kind of contributes into that theme. Another idea, because here in Southern California, we don't get much snow. I think there's so many different ways you can kind of bring in like fake snow, maybe even flock your trees to make it look like there's snow on it. I think here in LA, that can create a really big wow moment. So yeah, really bringing in those natural elements, adding twinkle lights we'll always fancy up the decor a little bit, make it look really pretty and aesthetic. So bringing the outdoors in is definitely a trend we're going to be seeing this year.
Yeah, and I think Carrie's statement with everyone at IMG being great at plants, it might be exaggeration. I'm just newly beginner in plants within the last 2 years, but I definitely feel like with everyone being indoors a little bit more and kind of craving that connection with the outdoors, we'll be seeing this one a little bit more this year. So, all right, well, those are our 6 trends. I wanted to just kind of open it up for questions, but one that I would want to ask the team here is kind of what is your most memorable holiday event or experience that you've had, whether that was the food, the entertainment, the activity? What was that most memorable moment that you're still talking about, thinking about to this day? And this, I'll open this up to either of you, whoever has one.
So I'll say one of my most favorite, it was definitely the community event that tied back to sustainability last year. It just was more of the feel and the takeaway from the event. I felt like it really brought together a lot of people during the holidays, especially coming out of the pandemic. So it was great to have everyone back safely and together, and just to have that like warm, nostalgic feel is kind of what the holidays are all about. So it was definitely a memorable one for everyone that was able to be a part of the event, whether it was attending, performing. We had a lot of great entertainment acts throughout the day, but it was just like this sense of community that everyone walked away with. That was really great.
I would say mine would be, it's featured in a couple of the pictures here, but the holiday party we did at the Viviana. I talked about the bubble ballerina. Now you can see a picture. It doesn't sound as crazy or weird as, you know, the picture, it speaks 1,000 words. But yes, I think it was just so grand. We had these big impactful moments that the guests were talking about, and there were oohs and the ahs. But I think one of the moments that I didn't get to speak about is one of the members and one of the attendees is actually a really great singer. And so she kind of just got up on stage and performed a few songs and surprised everyone. And I think having just, you know, we have these moments that we plan, like the bubble ballerina or the giant angel fairy wings. But those kind of unexpected moments of where you get to see the attendees, your staff members, your employees, your colleagues, really doing something that you don't get to see them do every day. That's really cool and really entertaining. So I think, yes, this holiday party with the bubble ballerina and the giant fairies was one of my favorites.
So fun, so fun. So yeah, these are some of our past events that you can take a look at. There's more on our website, but I just wanted to thank both of you ladies for being here today and taking us through these trends, telling us about all of the best practices and things to do. And I want to also thank our audience today and everyone who joined us to talk about what creating an amazing event experience looks like for you, for your team, for your customers, or your audience. If you're creating this year's wish list and you want to talk to us more about how to make your holiday party memorable and lasting, please reach out to us via chat or email us at info@innovatemkg.com. Happy holiday planning.